Well, I'm for abolishing the deep state everywhere. And one place that we could certainly look is the office of Dr. Fauci. Oh, I'm so sick of him. Dr. Fauci is like, remember the magic 8-ball? Like you shake the magic 8-ball, you ask Dr. Fauci, it's like, oh, you don't have to wear a mask. Then you shake it again, and you have to wear a mask. And then you shake it again, and you have to wear 2 masks. And you shake it again, and you have to get vaccinated, but still wear a mask. Now you can get vaccinated and not wear a mask. These people have lost credibility with the American people because they have not been honest, because they have been trying to seize power. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Unfortunately, almost every agency of government that I've observed in Washington, D.C., they just want to grow larger. And to do that, they help their friends and they target their enemies. And we'd like to think that there are at least some in Washington that don't do that. But unfortunately, it is a condition that we have observed with presidents of both parties. We're still here because there's still a lot of swamp left to drain in Washington, D.C. And to get the job done, we're actually going to need some fighters. The Wuhan Institute of Virology. So back in April of 2020, I went on Tucker Carlson's program and said, hey, I don't really think it's reasonable that the Chinese are telling us that a bat somehow traversed a gazillion miles, ended up in a pangolin, then ended up in a soup, and that we shouldn't blame the Wuhan Institute of Virology for the Wuhan virus. And so we told the truth. We laid bare that we had to bring that funding back home, not send it to a place where even our own State Department said in 2018 there were insufficient controls to ensure that there was not a release of something very deadly and very detrimental. Well, I got a call that night. I went on Tucker Carlson. Matt, this is your favorite president. And I was like, Reagan? He did not laugh. But within hours, President Trump canceled funding to the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Oh, and the media, they went crazy. Oh, these are heroes, they told us on CBS's 60 Minutes program. Gaetz and Tucker Carlson and Trump, they've done a terrible thing to stop us from fighting the virus. Well, now that the truth starts to come out, we learn that there was no leaping of this virus through the pangolin, whatever that is. That the evidence seems to suggest precisely where this virus came from. And now we're learning that in the opening months of the Biden administration, they were taking action to eliminate that investigation, to stop our search for the truth. Well, you know what? Too many Americans have died. Too much justice is required. Too much accounting from China is demanded. We are going to get the truth. The truth will prevail, and we're going to hold China and the Chinese Communist Party accountable for the death and destruction they brought our country and the world. And so in this great country that we love and fight for and serve, why is it that it takes so long to get the right policies in place, to utilize some common sense? The reason is that our government in the swamp of Washington is fundamentally corrupt. Committee assignments are bought and sold. Lobbyists control how much power you have. PACs control how much resource you have for your campaigns. Everyone is just worried about where they're going to be climbing up the ladder of a corrupt system. I love Donald Trump because he rejected that corrupt system. And you know what? After the art of the deal is the art of the comeback. And I think Donald Trump's coming back in 2024 to secure the presidency for our movement and our people and our great nation. And if he doesn't, who knows? But for our policies to be better, for our trade to be better, for our government to be more honest, for our borders to have integrity, first, our elections must have integrity, and we need your help to fix the problem right here in the state of Georgia. What is going on in Fulton County? I mean, this is a red state. You are God-fearing, wonderful Americans, and I think that the 145,000 ballots that we're about to audit and review in Fulton County are gonna tell one hell of a story. And you know what? We're gonna push back against the Biden Justice Department if they try to do anything to interfere with that audit. Marjorie and I were just out in the state of Arizona, and there we've got some patriots that want to get to the bottom of what happened in Maricopa County. And you know who's shaking in their boots? The Biden Justice Department. They were sending letters threatening people in Arizona to stop the audit, or they would bring a civil rights action against them. Well, I think the Biden Justice Department should be actually working to vindicate the civil rights and voting rights of our people, not fighting against them. Will you let them know that you will not be intimidated in the state of Georgia? This is so obvious, I can't even believe I have to say it out loud. Requiring an identification to vote is not racist. Assuming that some race of people can't get an ID is actually what's racist. You have to get an ID to get on a plane, to get a fishing license. For almost, I think don't you have to have an ID to buy a gun? But to vote, I guess like a note from your mom will do. Speaking of gun ownership, I am a strong supporter of constitutional carry. The only permit that should be required for gun ownership is the Constitution of the United States of America.